Senior chemical, his content is amazing. It's senior chemical, his brain is kinda crazy, cause he's a mad scientist from New York that makes videos day by day.
Mr. Chemist, do you have any free time with your extended care job?
Well, I'll be honest with you. There's actually a lot of moments where me and a coworker just find ourselves goofing off because everything's running as it should and no kids are misbehaving. Like one time me and Zane, you might know him, were just playing quick draw because there was absolutely nothing else happening that we needed to help with. All the kids were just playing outside, pretending that the box for the snacks was a dragon or something. And for those of you that don't know, by the way, I worked at extended care at around winter time, which would get really cold, but Zane had a strict no going inside policy. So most of my job there was spent outside in the freezing cold getting sick. But he was a real stickler about it for whatever reason, and felt like the kids needed to be tough and go without jackets. Speaking of Zane, here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Use code Zane Bentley to get 30% off on Audible.
But anyway, what happens when kids are being a little misbehaving? Well, one time Zane was going to tell a story, and it may not have been the best thing for SCJ and all his friends to hear, but they kept, listening in, and let's just say eventually we had to run. But back to what we do in our free time and all those hours there. And one time, me, Zane, and my other friends, Blizzard, Fox, and Jack, obviously that's not their real names, started talking about making up a podcast called Tire Talks because we were at the tire on the playground. It would have basically just been about our lives as extended care workers. Sadly, it never came to be, but if you think about it, that's what this video is. Spanish chemistry said, how often do kids cry at extended care? Well, there's this one kid, I'm not going to tell you his name for obvious reasons, but one time, Zane, who's a very sing-songy kind of guy, was just singing about this kid doing this kid doing this, and it eventually just led to us, even after the kid left, we just kept singing about it. He's at home and stuff. But for whatever reason, one time, we just decided to totally mess with this kid's head and say that Wyoming was not a real place. Now, obviously, this is all in good fun. If you think Wyoming exists, that's totally fine. But this kid didn't seem to understand how fake it was, so he started crying midway through. Basically being like, but Wyoming is a real place, I went there. And then one time, SCJ's friend Eli accidentally made this girl Carissa cry. So yes, naturally, if you're taking care of kids, there's gonna be some crying. Mr. Explosion Sr., have the kids at extended care ever given you a hard time? Well, first of all, when they ask me to play with them on the blue police car bouncy thing, or play basketball, or on the monkey bars or anything like that, I don't mind hanging out with them. But one time SCJ brought his Santa hat that he needed for a band concert, and definitely not the same kid we messed with about Wyoming, stole it from my head when SCJ told me to guard it, and then I had to go on a wild goose chase, chasing him around the inside and playground. Another time it was Jack, obviously not his real name's birthday, and apparently a birthday tradition for extended care is finding something on the playground and throwing it at him. I think the intention is to find something cool, but the kids all just ended up picking up trash and completely ambushing him with it. I think he got a few stains on his shirt, so he might be a little mad about that. And then let's not forget SCJ messing with Blizzard Fox and drawing things in the dirt underneath the swings to prank him. Oh, and that one time I did a last to leave challenge with some kids by sitting on this metal bar spiderweb looking dome on the playground, and I almost ended up winning, but I was called to go home on the walkie-talkie. Managing the walkie-talkie is probably one of my favorite things of being an extended care worker. And if you're asking, why didn't you just stay there? I mean, you can drive yourself home, right? Well, obviously I don't actually work at extended care. I just was kind of there because my grandparents aren't picking me up anymore and I couldn't drive yet. So I kind of had to go home when my mom came to pick me up. But anyways, thanks for watching and leave in the comments below if you liked that video. And yeah, bye.